Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So just a quick video in regards to Liam Smith. Of course, this past weekend he secured the highest profile win of his career in stopping Chris Eubank Jr. in 4 rounds. A result in which surprised a lot of people. Not so much that he won the fight, but the manner in which he won the fight. And yeah, right now Liam Smith, his name value is as hot as it's ever been, quite frankly. And, you know, 2023 is looking like an exciting year for Liam Smith. And I really wanted to discuss the options available for him going forwards. Now, it has to be said, Chris Eubank Jr. of course has a rematch clause on Liam Smith. It would be remiss of me not to mention this. I've heard a few reports online that Chris Eubank Jr. is going to activate the rematch clause, but we shall see. Naturally, that fight, I think second time around, that fight probably does better numbers, given the shocking conclusion of the first fight. So financially, yeah, that fight obviously makes a lot of sense for Liam Smith. But quite frankly, it's not really a fight I want to see again. Quite frankly, the middleweight division needs a bit of momentum right now, and rematching this fight, I'm not really up for it, quite frankly. Maybe I'll change my mind if it gets made, but I'd rather see Liam Smith go in a different direction, if I'm being honest. But regardless of that, if that rematch were to get made, it would generate interest, in my opinion. But when it comes to Liam Smith, I would rather see him fight, honestly, for a world title at 160. Obviously, after beating Chris Eubank Jr., he now becomes ranked in the division. Chris Eubank Jr. was ranked the 5th best middleweight by Ring Magazine. He was ranked number 2 in the WBO, number 2 in the WBC, and number 5 in the WBA. So Liam Smith, right now, he could very well get a title shot based on this win. And quite frankly, a fight I would love to see, if I could make any fight, it would be Liam Smith versus Eubank Alimkhanuly. I think that would be a great fight stylistically. Alimkhanuly is a guy who fights out of that southpaw stance. Primarily, I would say he's a counter-puncher, though he can be a boxer-puncher. And Liam Smith, as we know, is an aggressive guy, fights out of that crouch, come-forward style, likes to work at mid-range or the inside. I think if you get those two guys together, it would be a really, really fun fight, an exciting fight. From Eubank's perspective, it would be the best opponent of his career to date, in my opinion. And from a boxing fan's perspective, I think it would be a fun fight. I think it would be quite interesting, to be honest. I would love to see Liam Smith versus Eubank Alimkhanuly. The only issue with that, obviously, is that Eubank isn't a big name right now, and I'm sure Liam Smith is going to want the biggest names possible. Will Top Rank be willing to pay Liam Smith the money to come to America to take that fight? Probably not, I would say. Would Sky bring Eubank over to the UK? No, because that doesn't do pay-per-view in the UK, quite frankly. But in regards to the quality of that fight, that is the fight I would like to see the most, honestly. I just think it's a great fight. I really do. I really do. And I think ordinarily, Liam Smith would have taken that fight. He's never really shrugged a challenge. But because of where he's at right now, he's in a unique position that, in my opinion, I don't think he expected himself to ever be in. And yeah, he's going to want to capitalise on his name value right now. So Eubank, although I would like to see it, is it all that realistic? Probably not, to be honest. Probably not. But regardless, another fight that would make sense would be Gennady Golovkin. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Golovkin's contract with DAZN has now expired. I may be wrong on that, but I've read that in a few places. But I'm pretty sure Golovkin is more or less a free agent right now. Again, I could be wrong. But if that's the case, could they get Gennady Golovkin over to fight Liam Smith in the UK on pay-per-view? Of course, Liam Smith is from Liverpool. He's been talking about fighting at Anfield, which is Liverpool Football Club's stadium. I think that fight with Gennady Golovkin would do big numbers at the gate. I think Liverpool would come out to support Liam Smith in that one. And, you know, open air events in stadiums, they always generate a really good atmosphere. It's a great spectacle. And, you know, Liam Smith wouldn't be the worst opponent for Gennady Golovkin. I mean, look at the alternatives for Golovkin right now. I believe he's got a couple of mandatories due, one being Michael Zarafa, the Australian contender, and the other being Falcao, the Brazilian contender. In regards to generating revenue, do those fights really generate anything crazy? No. Would anybody be all that excited for those fights? Probably not. Liam Smith, on the other hand, I mean, Liam Smith, in my opinion, right now, is he more credible than Zarafa? I would say yes. Is he more credible than Falcao? I would say yes. And it's a bigger fight. And I'm sure from Golovkin's perspective, you know, right now he's about the cheddar, he's about the money, he's cashing out, you know, he's in mercenary mode right now. We saw that in the Canelo trilogy fight where he basically just shelled up and did nothing, I guess to prolong his career. Maybe he got a couple of side payments there, but who knows. But yeah, he's looking to milk boxing now, Golovkin. And in terms of money fights in the middleweight division, who else is a bigger money fight than Liam Smith right now in the UK? Charlo, I mean, right now that guy is absent because of apparent personal issues. But by the way, this guy hasn't fought since 2021, and the WBC still haven't ordered a mandatory when it should be Carlos Adames, but that's a different topic for a different day. Golovkin can't fight Charlo. Charlo's inactive. Munguia seems to not want to fight anybody with a pulse. That's not going to happen. Janabek versus Golovkin's not going to happen. So again, when you look at the middleweight division, how many bigger fights are there for Golovkin right now than Liam Smith? How many bigger fights are there? Not many, because middleweight right now is dead, and Liam Smith right now has arguably the most momentum. People are talking about him, so if I'm Golovkin, I would seriously pursue that fight. Liam Smith in the UK, Liam Smith would do a lot more for Golovkin than a Zarafa or a Falcao, just by virtue that Liam Smith is a former world champion, you know, been around a lot longer, fought at world level, etc., coming off the biggest win of his career. I think Liam Smith would do more for Golovkin's resume than a Falcao or a Zarafa, so... And of course, on top of that, it probably generates more money than those fights as well. So, yeah, if I'm Golovkin, I'd be seriously looking at that fight with Liam Smith. And yeah, that'd be a big occasion in the UK. Golovkin's fought here before. He's got a name out here. He's been on pay-per-view when he fought Kell Brook. Boxing fans are very familiar with Gennady Golovkin in this country. So, in terms of business, honestly, Liam Smith versus Golovkin is probably the fight I would make if I was managing Liam Smith. If the Eubank rematch doesn't happen, I think that makes the most sense. And again, stylistically, Liam Smith versus Golovkin would be a fun fight. You know, Liam Smith doesn't take a backward step. He's going to come forwards. He's going to trade with Golovkin, and it will make for a good spectacle. I would still, of course, make Golovkin a big favourite there, but given how Golovkin has slipped in recent years, it will be fun. It will be fun, so... I mean, I would quite like to see that fight as well, to be honest. Liam Smith versus Golovkin. But yeah, right now for Liam Smith, man, he's got a couple of options out there. The Eubank rematch, big money. Gennady Golovkin, big money. I mean, who knows? Could he go back down to 154 to challenge for a world title? Who knows? Maybe Liam Smith could try to pursue that Jamel Charlo fight. So yeah, there are some interesting options out there for Liam Smith, some more realistic than others. Again, I would love to see a fight with Janabek, but quite frankly, I don't see it happening. A Golovkin fight I would like to see. Failing that, if those two fights can't happen, I guess a Eubank Jr. rematch, but I'd rather see Liam Smith go in a different direction, to be honest with you. I'd rather see him go in a different direction. I would even like to see a rematch between Liam Smith and Munguia at middleweight. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But yeah, share your thoughts below. Where does Liam Smith go from here? Who do you want him to fight next? I would say Golovkin or Janibek. To me, those are the fights that are most attractive to me as a boxing fan. But that's how I see it. Share your thoughts below. Am I missing anybody who Liam Smith could fight? Maybe I am. But yeah, middleweight right now, it's not exactly like there's a boatload of names. Really, Golovkin is his mega fight, and if it's not Golovkin, I guess it's a rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. But yeah, we'll see in regards to that. We'll see what happens. But yeah, share your thoughts below. Been your guy, Delboy. Peace.